Return to the race for City Hall here on RFL. The New York City mayoral race has until now focused primarily on the Democratic primary, but lest we forget, there hasn't been a Democrat in Gracie Mansion in more than 20 years. On the Republican side, Joe Lhota has been consistently polling in first place. He's accrued the most money of any Republican in the race as well. That's another race you want to be in the front of. But can Lhota do well in the general election? Our own Dominic spoke with Mr. Lhota earlier today. Dom?
Well, Andrew, the Democrats are duking it out, but at the end of the day, they will still have to face the Republican nominee for the mayor's seat. And Joe Lhota, a one-time top deputy mayor to Rudy Giuliani and former head of the MTA, is hoping he's the guy. Joe Lhota, you have said the judge's ruling on stop and frisk takes New York City another step closer to becoming Detroit. One, is that really fair? And two, just so that we're on the record here, do you support racial profiling?
Well, first off, Dominic, it's great to be with you. Second, I do not support racial profiling in any way, shape, or form. And I do believe that the judge's ruling puts New York City at risk, puts the safety of all New Yorkers at risk, and therefore it does put us one step closer to Detroit. It doesn't make us Detroit. We're far from Detroit. But when you combine a lot of different issues that are going on in New York about public safety, about people who are running for mayor who want to raise taxes, that too will put us closer to Detroit. Look at Detroit over the last 20 years. Look at New York City over the last 20 years. In this city, we've had strong leadership making strong decisions, making the right decisions. Detroit didn't have such strong leadership, and every chance they got, they made the wrong decisions.
Well, fair enough, Joe Lhota, candidate for mayor. Polls on the Republican side show the race is tightening. Now, you have been the consistent front runner on the Republican side. That's the good news. But the bad news, is it possible that your main rival in this contest, John Catsimatidis, might actually win the primary?
No, I don't think it's possible. I'm going to win the primary. I'm confident that on the night of September 10th, I will be victorious, and looking forward to the Democrats deciding 3 weeks later who I will be running against.
Fair enough on that point. If you are the Republican nominee, for argument's sake, what would a general election campaign for mayor look like? Let's take, for example, on the Democratic side, at this moment, Bill de Blasio is surging. So if he's the Democratic nominee, what would this contest, Joe Lhota versus Bill de Blasio, look like?
Well, first off, if you think about it, the runoff is going to be October 1st. The election is November 5th. It's going to be a 5-week sprinting marathon, all out, both sides, debating the issues, going around New York with a different vision for New York. De Blasio, as an example, using the example you want me to use, he and I have a different vision about a lot of things. Bill wants to raise taxes. I want to cut taxes. Bill wants to do lots of programs that I think can be funded without raising taxes. So we're going to have a real debate, and it's going to be about real political philosophy, and it's going to be about the future of New York City.
What if the Democratic nominee shows that the person is Christine Quinn, the city council speaker, who has consistently been the front runner? And what, on the final part of this question, what if the nominee is Bill Thompson?
Look, I'm prepared for whoever is selected as the Democratic nominee, whether it's Christine or Bill Thompson or Bill de Blasio. They all have points of view contrary to mine. I have a different vision for the city of New York. I will present that vision to the city of New York, and we will go toe-to-toe. I absolutely believe that I will be victorious on November 5th.
Joe Lhota, how can you win the fall election campaign when you already know close to a majority of the city wants a change, almost an end, certainly a modification to stop and frisk, and you actively support it?
Yeah, New Yorkers do want a change, and Joe Lhota is a change. Joe Lhota is not going to be the 4th term of Mike Bloomberg. It's not going to be the 3rd term of Rudy Giuliani. It's going to be the 1st term of Joe Lhota, where I will be talking to the people about increasing and enhancing communications in all communities, making sure that as we proceed with stop, question, and frisk, that there are better and more enhanced communication with the public on exactly what it is the police are allowed to do, why the police are doing it, and what training the police are getting. I wanted to make it as transparent as possible when it comes to stop, question, and frisk. But regardless of who the nominee is on the Democratic side, I can win because I'm going to go out to the people of the city of New York and convince them that I'm the person who can fix the city's financial situation. I'm the person who's going to reform the public school system. I'm the person who's going to make sure that our crime continues to drop. I'm never going to forget to pick up the garbage every day, and clearly I'm never going to forget to pick up the snow when it does snow. So I'm going to convince the people of New York that I'm the person who has the best shot of making their life better and the future of New York City better.
Joe Lhota, we have little time left here. Granted, you did run New York City in part to a large degree for Rudy Giuliani, but to a certain degree, isn't Giuliani a major liability for you going into this fall campaign if you're the nominee?
Look, many people say that. I don't buy into it that Mayor Giuliani is a liability for me. I am inextricably linked to Rudy Giuliani. I was his budget director. I was his deputy mayor. But one of the things that I was known for when I was in both of those jobs, and Dominic, you will remember, I was my own person. I spoke my mind. I had different points of view, and that will come out during the campaign.
So you see Giuliani for the most part as a positive? You don't see more of a downside than the plus to America's mayor?
Look, I can't separate myself from Rudy Giuliani. I can't, and I'm not going to say things that I don't believe. Quite honestly, I'm going to run the campaign the way I want to run the campaign. I'm going to talk about the issues that I want to talk about. If people want to bring up prehistoric history, go right ahead. I want to talk about the future of New York.